So we're going to take another look at the story stream feature and its current developments. Just another reminder, this is still a work in progress. Everything's going to be improved, maybe a few little tweaks here and there to the menus. And just a quick review. So you start by putting in the genre, the story context of what's happening here. You put in some characters. And we have a new setting here called sequence depth, and we'll look at that more as we get through it. And the story we're going to start with is a classic Seinfeld episode of the gang getting lost in the mall parking lot. So we'll start by just generating a few examples. Okay, we'll follow down the rabbit hole. And then we'll go here. So we'll use this prompt, but we'll change it a little bit. So the security guard is distracted and doesn't notice them. So they have to get his attention. See what happens here. And we'll edit this as well. And then maybe a classic Seinfeld misunderstanding. Now, what we can do now is add an empty sequence, and you'll see a few extra features here, but we're not going to talk about those today. They're still works in progress. What we might say is so we're kind of changing the scene here. So I think what's going to happen is now the two groups can't find each other. So the first thing we're going to do is maybe change the story context a little bit to help. So maybe focus the story more on the two groups trying to find each other rather than just finding the car. The other thing we can do now is look at the sequence depth. So normally when you generate a new group of sequences, it'll look back through the story path or the story stream as to where it's gone and where it's going, and it'll do it up to a depth of 8 by default. Now, if you're trying to explore, say, a single scene, and you want the flow of the story to remain on the one train of thought, having a longer story depth or a deeper depth is what you're going to want. But because we're changing the scenes, we don't want it to get caught up with what was happening way back in the story. So we'll change it to maybe a depth of 2, and we'll see what happens here. Oh, this could be a nice plot twist. I can imagine Jerry goofing around trying to convince George of this. And maybe we'll increase the depth a little bit just to play out this sequence. And that's quite the plot twist there. But we'll wrap it up for today. Stay tuned for more developments, especially some of these other ones. We'll be back soon. Thanks.